Hi there, and welcome to the first video here to get you set up and running on tackling these leads. So you would have received an email already with your username and password, and also you should have received a link through to this website, which is appinsuranceffunnels.io. You may have the HTTPS link in front of that and maybe struggling to function in the URL. So if that's the case, just delete the TPPS and then just cut and paste it into the URL here. And this will work best on Google Chrome. So if you're familiar with or you're currently using Internet Explorer, I would advise you just to switch over for this application anyway. So Google Chrome's the one to use. Cut and paste the URL, put your username, which will be your email address, and the password that I've assigned to you in that email. And then, yeah, just click sign in. Your version is going to look slightly different. It's not going to have all of these options down here, but the first option that you want to check, what we're going to check in today, is the Opportunities tab. So we're going to click onto that. Now, the first thing that I want to point out to you here is these tabs on the top. These are filters for the different opportunities that you're going to see. Now, obviously, you won't see as many here, but it will be in the same format. This is across the whole agency. So let me just check with you first that you have all of these upward filters here pointed in the same direction. We want this as being date added with descending. We want the new home buyer ad pipeline. Now, there's going to be variations of this, but that's the one that you want to hit. The owner is going to be all. The campaign is going to be, well, if you do get into this, it's going to be the new home buyer follow-up campaign. Check if I can find it. Ah, there it is. This one here. Right, and that should be all, well, you can have this as being all, but this is basically all open ones as well. Open or all will do fine on that. So you're going to see the pipeline here, and this is split down into 5 different categories. And this is obviously, as the prospect moves along the sales process, you can delineate what contact is to be made. Because when you pick up and move the prospect through to the next phase, a degree of automation can take place where either SMSs or emails or a different type of campaign can be sent through to the prospect. And this will be as they're going through the process. You may want to have an automation where once they've been pre-approved, then it gets sent out to one of your 5 or 4 real estate partners automatically, and it will send them all of the contact profile too, so that that real estate agent will be able to see all the information that you put in about this client. So let's actually just have a look at quickly at a client profile. This is a brand new lead that's just come in. I'm going to open that up. You're going to see that the profile is split into 3 different sections here. Left section, center section, and a right section. I'm going to start off on the left section here. Client's name is here, Eugenia Ferreira. And we have all of the contact information here for the clients. We have email, telephone number, and for here we have actually the different types of campaigns that they're currently on. So we can add and remove campaigns at the touch of a button. So you really don't need to do any sort of typing or texting or anything else. Once you've established what your campaign flow will be, you can just add them on to the current client so that they are receiving all the right information. So anyway, here we have, as I said, name and telephone number. But if we click on the additional information here, you're going to see all of the relevant information that's been pulled out of the questionnaire that they've answered. So for this particular one, it's a new home buyer advert. So yes, they're currently renting. They're looking to buy within the next 2 to 6 months. And I use this as a guide really to, basically what's their intent. If they're looking to move within a month, typically they have docs in hand and they're ready to go. 2 to 6 months means that they are ready, but they don't have the docs in hand, so they need a bit of guidance to get there. Any more than 6 months or within a year, they're looking to get ready to be able to move into a house. It's kind of how I gauge it. But I'm sure you'll get a better feel for it as you go through the program. Have you ever purchased a home before? No, new home buyer, and they're not sure what their price range will be, but a great credit score, and they're not working with a realtor. This one is probably a very good indication so that you can actually give this out to another referral partner. So that's well worth looking at. And mostly 99% of the leads that you'll get will be like this. So that's the informational side on the left-hand side. In the center, we can see all of the conversations that take place with the client. So this is a text message, and usually there will be an email, but in this particular instance, the respondent texts back straight away, which is great. That means that they're an active, motivated person to engage with. It's a real lead, right? But all of the messages or all the conversations will take place in here. And I'll show you what that flow looks like with an email coming through in just a second. But if you are to type any sort of messages back to the person, you will do it here. This is where you would communicate with the client. And as I said, most of the time it's going to be regular communications. So if you have any sort of constant contact sort of information that's goes through, you may as well just template the information, stick it into the system, and allow it to do its work so that you don't have to constantly be typing out the same information. Either you or your staff are doing it. So either way, it's costing your business some money. But that is, if you were to send any messages, they would show up here in this section, and you can do it through here. Also, as well, if you to make a phone call, you would simply just hit this green button up here, and it will start dialing out for you. And the numbers are all ID'd, and we can put your telephone number in there, or you can get a white label number, whatever you prefer. But the telephone calls will all be recorded here in this section. So if you ever want to go back over it because you want to do some training with your staff, or because you just want to replay the message because you were misunderstood or didn't have a clear recollection about the conversation, it will all be in here. And this will all be kept and saved for as long as you have the account. So that's the center section. On the right-hand side here, we have basically an historical account about what's occurred on the account. So first page here, we have activity. This is a timeline of events that's taken place on the account, and where we can see how the lead came to us. After each interaction with the client, we want to take down some detailed notes, and I'm going to show you what those look like in a later video. But with the notes, we're going to go here, and we just simply add a new note in by typing this. So we're going to put something like that. We can just save it in. And it's going to be date stamped and earmarked about who actually put in the notes there. But usually we'll put in, obviously, detailed notes about our conversation that we've just had with the client. Those notes tend to lead to a future action, which would be an appointment. And these appointments will appear in a calendar that can be synced up to any calendar that you've got, whether it's Gmail or Hotmail, whatever you have. This will sync so that you can, if you make any appointments in here, it will sync into those calendars and vice versa. So yes, you can, you put in your information here for the calendar, and it's going to save that for you. Now, in between our present conversation and a future appointment, we typically have a couple of tasks to do. So this is where you would put in your task, and you can assign it to somebody within your team. Obviously, I've got a few more team members here, but I'm going to assign this to my service team, and I'm just going to save that. And a task will appear here. Now, those tasks will show up in your dashboard. So if you click through to your dashboard page, wait for that to load up, all of your tasks are going to show up here. So you'll never forget what tasks that you need to do because it's already saved in the system. And you just come in here and go through your calls.